This is Gene Adam, former lead singer of Iced Earth. Be sure to subscribe to Podcast and Stone, and don't forget, join our community on social media. Metal lives.
Ladies and gentlemen of the Iced Earth community, welcome to Podcast and Stone, the only podcast 100% dedicated to iced mother fucking earth. I am joined, as always, with the incomparable Chuck Hoskins. Chuck, it's crazy times, but we are trying to bring the feel good to the masses. How have you been, sir?
I'm doing well, sir. Welcome to the feel good episode of Podcast and Stone, the only podcast 100% dedicated to feeling good about Iced Earth. That's why we're here today.
Every day, sir. Every day.
There's a lot of stuff going on, but there's some cool stuff that came about from it that I would like to talk about right off the bat. And that's live Facebook concerts, also on Spotify. There's been some very cool ice-related stuff this week. Have you got to watch any of it?
No, because I've been at work, so okay. I haven't had a chance. I didn't even realise stuff has come on Spotify. No one's told me. Usually that shit gets shared on our group quite quickly, but yeah. No one's mentioned anything.
Last week we had a awesome Jacob's Well concert by Gene and Jamie, and we have another one coming up. If you download this pretty quick, it's this coming Saturday, and Saturday is the same as Luke's got another one coming up. Luke had a Facebook Live with Becky.
I think I saw that, but I think I was just scrolling through Facebook. And it was a screenshot of them two together with their bass guitars.
Yeah.
Carry on going. So I've missed a lot of stuff. I've just been not doing anything lately.
I'll update.
It took a lot of people. Like today, I wanted to make a new video for my my other YouTube channel called Mouth for Noise. I was doing a list video. I really made myself do it because I wanted to do something today. So I did that, but I'm finding it very difficult to have any motivation for anything lately. But the podcast will always prevail.
So anyway, for anybody that's watching this that hasn't been in touch with Facebook lately, Gene Adam and Jamie from Jacob's Well had a great live concert. Acoustics sound great. They're going to do another one this Saturday live. Luke and Becky had an outstanding one where they played stuff from Snake Eyes. They actually played Wasted Years from Maiden, and they played a Dio song, and they played one or two from her side of the catalog, and that was a great thing. And John Greeley played one just Sunday with Seventh Servant, and they're going to do another one this Sunday, and he was just so metal. It was I know it was loud, but he went full on metal with electric guitars. So he's going to turn it down just a little bit and try to adjust the sound a little bit acoustically. But it's awesome that these people are doing this for the fans as just a kind of a feel good, thing for everybody. I think it's outstanding.
If you can't go to, no one can go to shows, so the bands are bringing the shows to them. So,
right,
that's always good, right?
Right.
Anything to distract people from the current situation is always good, because I know that, especially people like my mum and that, they're kind of struggling with their own kind of well-being with it, because it is a lot. It's unprecedented what we're going through. But that's why we're doing this podcast. We're not trying to harp on it, but
yeah. The world's affected forever. And hopefully everybody that's watching this is at home safe, and we're doing the same thing as you guys are, just trying to
Man,
get through
what I like,
returning normalcy.
what I like to think about when it comes to this kind of thing is like when stuff goes back to normal. I don't know how locked down you guys are out there in America, but like in the UK, we're completely locked down, and I just can't. I can't wait for it to be over because can you imagine like that first sports show or that first sports thing, football or whatever, cricket, whatever, that first thing, that first concert, that first wrestling show. The people are gonna like. I can see loads of different things selling out quickly because people can't wait to get back to doing things that they love to do. And can you imagine
Right.
the ravenousness of stuff that people want to do? It's going to be great. It's going to be such a relief to go to a concert to see a band you love again, or just go to the fucking cinema would be nice.
Right.
That all those kind of like life distractions that we tend to embrace to escape stuff. When that's gone, you realise, wait a minute, this is shit. But when it comes back, it's just going to come back in a big way, and everyone's going to fucking have that massive relief, and it's going to be great. I can't wait.
I'm having like concert withdrawal right now. And the only thing I've missed so far is a Kiss tribute show. So, I mean, I haven't missed anything huge, but I hate that being taken from me. I love live music.
Yeah.
And, when I see these tours and I see that the upper scales, like the Metallicas and the Maidens, that aren't going to hurt financially from it, they just take time off. It's nothing. And then I see, the people that's their job. I take it very personally because I hate to see my friends in the music community struggle at this time. So
It's
right now is the perfect time to buy physical media, you know, go to these websites and buy their shirts because they need that right now.
yeah, man, and I just want to like big shout out to like all the venue owners and the sound engineers and the people that are really struggling because those are the people that basically bring those gigs to life in more than one way if you think about it. So I'm thinking about those people in the music industry that their livelihoods are on pause right now and it's a struggle. um, but yeah, I don't know what else to really say about this aside from like it's not going to be forever. We're going to get through it. It's going to be such a cathartic moment when people can finally go to a gig and go, like I just said, go to do what they usually love to do. It's going to be cathartic and I can't wait. And like we're me and Chuck, we're both wrestling fans, and I can't imagine that first show, that first live show that everyone can go to. Can you imagine the pop on that first live show when everything goes back to normal, Chuck? It's going to be a
Right.
fucking massive.
It could be
Because
a dread awful show and people still gonna love it.
because people are just gonna like have that relief of like fucking yeah. It's gonna be wicked.
I don't know how it is over in the UK, but it seems like since this has happened, and we promise we're going to end this discussion soon, it seems like when I have conversations with people, it seems like everybody's taken a more chill, everybody's, the human nature is just, it seems like everybody's a lot more kinder over here right now. At least the people, it just seems like people's taking a step back and taking everything a little bit more serious. And, it just seems like people I've come in contact with are a little bit more nice lately. That's kind of nice. So maybe after this is all said and done, maybe the world will be a little bit stronger from it. That's something we could hope for.
I've seen a lot of fundraisers for to help, the medical staff all over the world. I've donated to some fundraisers as well, just so like especially like over here, our NHS can get the equipment they need and the equipment to keep them safe. I'm sure it's the same for over there, Chuck. The
Yeah.
medical
My
staff in America as well
I'll give
need all the safety equipment they need.
I'll give props to my wife. She's right there on the front lines, dealing with patients and stuff. So it's a scary time for them as well. You think it's scary, going to a factory. Think of of going to a ER every night. So And it's affected my life because with this stuff going on, the kids didn't get to come visit last time, and that's the first visit that I've missed in 12 years or so.
But that's not your fault, though, is it?
No, I mean it's something that me and my ex discussed and decided with my wife working at the hospital that it was best to just keep them distant for a while. So I mean it's affecting everybody in different ways. So
Yeah, of course it, man. But
so but
the one thing I'm finding though is that I'm listening to a lot more music lately, and I'm watching a lot more films. How about you, Chuck?
we watched a couple films this weekend. I discovered the Jack Reacher films with Tom Cruise. I had never seen those.
I'm
I
familiar with
enjoyed
them, to be honest.
just a kind of an action, movie, and I have listened to a lot of music. I went through the entire Maiden discography, and am now onto Megadeth, and have got into several of the Iced Earth. As soon as this stuff kind of started happening, I, for some demented reason, went straight to Plagues of Babylon and had to listen to Stu. So, so you got to. So, but I tend to get lost in music because it's one of my favorite pastimes anyway. So, and I've talked to a lot of people who are doing the same.
Yeah, I've been like I said, I've been listening to it. I've been checking out bands that I know by name, but I've not listened to, like really kind of older, kind of 70s stuff. Like discovered a prog group called Emerson.
Lake and Palmer.
Yeah, Emerson, Lake and Palmer. Their first album's incredible. It's such a great prog rock album. I got the vinyl as well recently, so yeah, I discovered them. They're fucking great. A lot of 70s progressive rock I've got into recently. I'll finally, for the first time, after years of my dad bringing them up, I checked out Genesis for the first time, and yeah, they're fucking great as well.
The Phil Collins version or the other with the other guy?
Well, I don't know. I don't really know the history, so I just but I just looked up like just lists like old best Genesis album and just listened to the one that they said that was the best, which was which is called Selling England by the Pound is the album that I listened to and I really like.
By the quid, huh?
Yeah. I've got that vinyl coming as well. But what I watched a really cool. If people like when films incorporate heavy metal, I watched a great fucking movie recently called Deathgasm. It's about a kid who goes in to live with his uncle and aunt, and they're like proper hardcore Christians, and they hate the fact that he plays like the devil's music. And he meets another metalhead, and they kind of form a band called Deathgasm. And they come across these pieces of paper that is like notation, but they play it in a metal way, and it basically spawns all these demons from hell. And it's about them trying to figure out how to like get rid of all these demons. And it's like a black comedy. It is the most entertaining film I've seen in a long time, and it is super gory and violent, and it's just so fun. It's a fun movie.
Have you ever seen a movie? It was a horror movie in the 80s. It was called Trick or Treat. And the soundtrack was by a group named Fastway.
No, I've not seen that film.
It's basically like a metal guy is like he dies and his spirit is trapped in this record. His last record got sent to somebody, and he plays it backwards. And it's a really cool movie. Ozzy's in it, and so is Gene Simmons from Kiss. That's my favorite music movie of all time. Is Trick or Treat.
I might have to check that out, man.
If you've seen any of these movies, make sure you leave a comment in the comment section and let us know.
Yeah, check out Deathgasm. It's a really fun movie.
Okay, usually we do our viewer comments toward the end of the episode. We kind of put a post on our Facebook group, said, we're doing a feel-good episode, and we had some suggestions about what we should talk about, and I want to get to them sooner because there's many things to talk about. So let's talk about a few things. My new buddy, Chris Knotts, really cool dude, says, Chuck, you guys should talk about the possibility of a live release from Iced Earth show. And this has spawned from John's recent post on social media. Did you see that?
I did, yes.
How exciting was that? What did you think when you
Um,
saw that?
I'm a bit conflicted because a lot of the bootlegs that I've heard are not the greatest. Or the live bootlegs that I've heard aren't the greatest quality. So I don't know how John's gonna fare because John's very much like he needs it to be top tier kind of quality. So I'm not sure if they're gonna find something that is really good quality.
But I think it's a strong possibility because he mentioned, was it Germany 95?
Look,
But
burnt
he mentioned
offerings.
one. Was it Burnt Offerings or the Dark Saga tour?
I think that might have been actually Dark Saga, wouldn't it? It'd be Dark Saga, wouldn't it? Yeah.
He could possibly have some good stuff in the can that was never circulated. Because John is a perfectionist, and I
Mm.
don't see him releasing the type of bootleg garbage that I've bought before on eBay just because it's got the Iced Earth title on.
Yeah,
So
like
I don't
I think one of the worst one of the worst ones that I got was Hired in Paris. That was atrociously bad.
2002
Yeah, it was horrendous. Like
Unwatchable.
yeah, it was awful. Yeah. So
Yeah. So John is a stickler for that stuff. So I don't think he's going to just release garbage,
yeah.
but you don't know what he's got in the can. So I hope they're going to do a live release. Hopefully this is something to, just an added bonus with these crazy times, just to, you know, keep income going and just something for the fans. It sounds like everything's going to be delayed as far as studio and stuff. Like if you had an album coming out in March, it's probably pushed back 6 months. So if he's got an album studio or a live CD that could be put out, that's awesome. I think that's Chris. I think that's a great idea, and it excites me to think about that. And anything, I would prefer a non dystopia and a non something wicked show only because I want different set lists, if that makes sense.
I I think I speak for a lot of people from what I've seen in the community when it comes to speaking about old live shows. Like anything with the original five would be great, and anything with Greeley would be great. Like that kind of early era would be really cool to hear, like hear high quality live recordings of. That'd be interesting because I for me it kind of shows the evolution. Because if you get something from like 91 and 92 and possibly Burnt Offerings era, hopefully, then we will have sort of a kind of a live evolution kind of pathway where you get some of the early stuff, live stuff, you can listen to it properly and actually hear like Gene singing some of the songs you wouldn't necessarily hear Gene sing, like Storm Rider for example. And then you'd have Greeley singing the Storm Rider stuff, and then you might get the Burnt Offering stuff like early Matt Barlow live with the band. But then obviously we've got Live in Athens and we've got Ancient Curion, which is kind of spans that period. I would like to hear something with Owens as well. I think that would be interesting to hear something
I
with
think it would
Owens.
be when I first heard that the Dark Saga was a possibility to get a live release with Randall and Dave would be awesome.
That'd be killer. Yeah,
And
definitely.
that was Brent also on that too.
Mm.
So that's an awesome five some right there. So it's an exciting. The only thing I think about, and I thought about this because I've got a lot of time to think these days, is if he had a great studio or a great live album from the first or second tour just in the can, I think we would have heard it by now.
Mm.
So
Yeah.
so I don't know. I hope there's something good out there. I don't see him releasing garbage. So we'll see. I'm excited to think about that.
See, it's weird because like as far as I'm aware, any sound engineer can just record shit straight from the desk. So the sound guy who deals with all the sound, he can record the live set. So
But did they record everything back then?
I don't know, like you never know. He might come across like, there's this one show in Germany in 1992 where they recorded the set and there's someone somehow. I'm fucking fanbooking this, but you know
Oh,
what I mean.
sure. But I guess anything from the first 4 tours that's great quality would be outstanding.
Mm-hmm.
Anything, whether it be Gene, John, Matt, it doesn't matter. And I would even take a nice Plagues or Incorruptible one. That would be outstanding. I love the Plagues. To hear a great quality recording of Stu doing Red Baron, as Jason says, yes, please.
Yeah. What a surprise that was, man. That was killer.
I loved it. Adam Ortiz says, let's talk about the T-shirt designs we wish for. So there's been a lot of recently there was a St. Patrick's Day one for Days of Purgatory. There's a Burnt Offerings one out there now. There was a horror show. All are great designs. The green one wasn't super popular.
It was awful. I hated it. I thought it looked like a really bad bootleg. It didn't look like official merch. It looked horrid.
Looked like some kind of tie-dyed flea market shirt.
I hated it. I thought it was awful. And it's annoying because I really wanted that Damien shirt, but I didn't really, because I don't know what the shipping is like from America at the moment to the UK. I'm not sure how you would deal with that now. But like, I wanted it. I didn't want to pay $60 for it, and I know that shipping would have killed me anyway. So I'm hoping John kind of licensed that design out to like EMP in the UK, so I can get a different kind of t-shirt with that Damien design, because it's one of my favourite pieces of artwork from Iced Earth, is that Damien design.
So a Damien shirt would be your shirt you'd wish for?
Well, I know it's already come out, but I just couldn't afford it. I would like a rerun of the Glorious Burden album cover, because it's my favourite album art. I would like that. Glorious Burden.
I think that the next one I'll jump on is when they do a Dark Saga one.
I've already got a Dark Saga shirt.
So, great question, guys. Mike Scott says, will we ever get a John Greeley interview like the other past present members have done? Mike, the answer to that is yes. John is a friend of the podcast, and he's wanting to wait until he's working on stuff right now with Seventh Servant, and he was just wanting to go on there when he had some stuff to talk about. So that's one that we've kind of delayed it. We're waiting for the right time, kind of like what we did with Bill Owen. So it's coming. That's for sure. Tim Owens has agreed, but he's so freaking busy. But Greeley, we're just waiting for the right time. So hopefully that'll be this year. So I could answer that one because I frequently talk to John. Remy Davignon says you guys should talk of what you could expect from the next Iced Earth album set for 2021. Jason, what do you think the next studio album is going to sound like?
So like, everything's different, right? Every album. The only albums that have kind of sounded similar in terms of their flavour is Dark Saga and Something Wicked, in terms of back-to-back kind of similar flavours. Every other album has got kind of its different kind of, different kind of vibe, different kind of sound to it. And I want them to continue that. So Incorruptible is kind of like more kind of stripped back, straight up heavy metal. Maybe this album... So I'm trying to find a balance. So basically, so Incorruptible was like stripped back, straight up heavy metal. Plagues of Babylon was heavy as fuck, kind of like half concept, half not, but it was still kind of like had a really heavy sound to it. Dystopia was more of a kind of like again a concept record, but it was more kind of a very modern sounding kind of album, if you will, and the list goes on. So I don't know, like I would like to see them go in a kind of like, I want to say ambitious route, but not Framing Armageddon or Crucible ambitious, because I think that kind of they went a bit too far there with the crazy songwriting and stuff. I think somewhere like Horror Show with that kind of vibe, with the songwritings, like lots of riff changes and stuff, but obviously make it make sense. I don't want them just to change up riffs just for the sake of having fucking thousands of riffs in one song. I would like to have them, I would like to have that kind of vibe where it's, every song has layers, but it's not going overboard with it. Or if you really want to go old school and go back to like the first album's kind of sounds, that'd be really good as well. Yeah.
I listened to Incorruptible last week, about 4 or 5 days ago, and I forgot how heavy some of those songs like Clear the Way and Seven-Headed Horror just blew my eardrums out. Like it's just so good. I think we're going to hear at this juncture in John's career, you're not going to hear a 10 song, no slow, just riffarama. I think John's got a great balance of, keeping this, elevating here. So I think it's going to be a continuation. If I had to guess of which of the Stu albums it's going to sound the most like, I think it's going to sound the most like Incorruptible. I don't think it's going to sound like a ripoff, but I think you're going to get some like Brothers kind of slower songs and just a 12-minute epic at the end.
I think Jake is going to bring a lot to that record as well, the new record. I think Jake has got a lot of ideas. He's got a lot of, though, like from what I've heard from like his solo stuff and the Withdrawal stuff. I think Jake can bring that more kind of ambitious songwriting to the proceedings as well. I think Jake is their ace in the hole for some really creative songs. I'm not saying that John's not creative, but John's done it for so long. I can imagine it being really even harder to write original material after 12 albums. So I reckon Jake is their ace in the hole, and he can really collaborate with John to make something really, really good. And that's what I'm looking forward to. I'm looking forward to Jake's input and just see where that goes. I think that could be something really fucking good. What do you think?
And I also think that don't forget Luke's done some really great solo stuff also. So I think with everybody bringing stuff to the table, it can only help the band. And if you're a Withdrawal fan out there, they just announced today Withdrawal wine. Go to their website. It looks cool. I've got to get one. I got to get one to go with my Sentinels and Ashes of Various bottles.
What is it with bands and fucking alcohol? I don't understand why they. I don't understand
metal.
it.
I don't know. It looks cool on my shelf. I got to have one. So go to Withdrawal, limited to 100. So go get it.
Do you drink wine, Chop?
Not at all, but I want the bottle on my shelf. Okay, here's a question for you from Charlie Espinoza. He says, basically, is there a possibility for us ever doing a live stream?
Live streaming's awkward because that means even though like I've learned how to edit and everything, it just means when it comes to live streaming, I love to do it. That'd be awesome. We can just do a random episode out of the blue, live stream it, just do an episode on the fly with no really preparation. Just do it live. It'd be great. But it means I've got to download an external program and learn that program, and it just seems like there's a lot of work to go into that. Not that I'm afraid to do the work. It's just with all that and editing stuff, it's just a lot to do. But yes, it's quite intimidating, like to learn it. It really confuses me. So maybe it's something I can learn in the future. But right now, I'm not in a rush for it. I would love to do it, but I'm in no rush for it.
And okay, I like the way our format is now. So not that we make a lot of mistakes, but I like to put out a good quality product. And our last question is John Baylor wants to know how are we staying sane during the coronavirus? What have we been jamming? So we kind of touched on it before, but what have you been listening to in the last couple of weeks?
I've been listening to, like I said, some Genesis. I discovered a new band called Butcher. Bought their new album, one of the best albums of the year. It's called 666 Goats Carry My Chariot. It's like trying to put it into words. It's kind of like Sirith Ungol. Yeah, if Sirith Ungol played Motorhead songs at 100 miles an hour, it's wicked. I love it. It's great. So yeah, if you like speed metal with kind of that punk infusion that Motorhead had, and kind of like spittingly snarly vocals, it's fantastic. And the artwork on the album, I want to grab it. It's only over there, but I don't want to fuck up this recording. The artwork is probably one of the best artworks of the year for an album. It's so good. Great album, man. I think you should check it out, Chuck. You. And everybody else. Butcher, 666 Goats Carry My Chariot. I 100% recommend it. Such a good album.
As I mentioned earlier, I went through the Maiden discography. I kind of just listened to them, not in order, just here and there. I listened to little Withdrawal, little Iced. After Luke's live stream, I listened to Snake Eyes. And I'm now listening to Megadeth because there's quite a bit after the Risk album that I've never heard. Like albums like 13 and Dystopia that I've really never gave a full sit-down listen to. That I'm going to do over the next couple.
There's a lot of mediocre Megadeth records in the 2010s and that. I think Endgame was really good. I think that came out in like 2009 or something. But yeah, I think everything after that hasn't been that great as far as I'm aware. But I don't really follow them, so I'm not 100% sure. So don't hold me on that. I
keep hearing their Dystopia record's really good, but I haven't listened to it yet. So yeah, I mean, I've heard bits and pieces, but
it's called Dystopia, but it's no Dystopia. Do you know what I mean?
It's no Dystopia, yeah. So thanks to everybody that took the time to give us some suggestions for that. Other current. What else is it? We've talked about our next episode is definitely going to be Sons of Liberty. So we're going to discuss. Are we going to discuss the album and the EP together or separate?
Well, I've not listened to the EP in a long time, so I might have to revisit that.
We have that coming up, and after that, I'm going to do my hardest to talk you into getting into the Withdrawal. After that. So if you had to guess what's, and I haven't heard any, I haven't heard from him or anything. What do you think John's doing right now? Do you think he's focusing on the live album? Is he writing the new Iced Earth album? Is he secretly recording Storm Rider? What do you think John's doing right now with his time?
I don't know what he's doing, but I know what he's not doing. Sleeping. Because he doesn't sleep, right?
I think so.
I don't think so, no. I don't know, man. It's hard because he obviously, like, nobody can tour right now, so he's not touring. As far as I've heard in interviews, that the last year's Demons and Wizards tour was the only tour. There's no plans for tours post album. If there was, there definitely isn't now because of this whole thing. But yeah, I don't know. Like, I don't know what he's doing. I don't know.
I don't know. See, he throws curveballs out there. You know, some things like the Purgatory thing was just so out of nowhere for some people. It's like, what?
Yeah.
So,
yeah.
I don't know like I said, I think it could be any of those things, or knowing him, it could be a couple of those things.
The thing that I always wonder though, there as Iced Earth as a brand, they'll release a T-shirt like the Damien T-shirt or the St. Patrick's T-shirt or the current Burnt Offerings T-shirt, like reissues. Like, how much do you think time do you think he puts into setting those up and putting them out and making sure they get all ready for sale and all that? How much do you think that takes up his time? Because he could be doing some of that.
I don't think he does a lot. I think he oversees everything.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't think that the Burnt Offerings T-shirt. I think those are little fan nuggets that we get. He has a plan and he knows. If you remember when the Purgatory came out and then the Enter the Realm came out, he's got for 3 months we're going to talk about this, and then then we're going to go to this. So he's got a plan of keeping the fans, there. You have that Alive in Athens single picture disc that just was, a buddy of mine just told me it was shipped today. So you have certain nuggets that doesn't take a lot of stuff off of his plate that still keeps them in the eye as far as stuff for the fans, which I love.
I think it kind of keeps. I think it keeps Iced Earth kind of relevant as well.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And everybody, especially now more than ever, it's about business, And there's nothing wrong with that. I want John to put out stuff. It's I don't think it's a greedy thing. I want him and the option. And you know what? If you don't like the green T-shirt, don't get it. If like me, I haven't got the Alive in Athens reissue because I have 130 versions of it on CD. I have a picture disc set, so I haven't got it yet. So, he releases stuff. If it's for you, great. Order 2, order 3. Get a black, a red, a green, and an orange. And get a clear. If you already have it, then move on to the next thing. That's a great thing about Iced Earth. There's everything's not for everybody. You take what you like.
I'm very much. I don't know about you and your collecting, Chuck, but my collecting has slowed down significantly concerning Iced Earth, and I'm a bit more critical with myself now. If something gets posted up, like that picture disc, for example, I really ask myself, do I need that? Because I don't like picture discs anyway. But my mindset used to be like, if it's physical and it's out there, I need it. But at the end of the day, do I need a picture disc of 2 songs? Not really. So, I kind of skipped on that one. But I was trying to be more kind of cautious with my spending. But obviously there'd be a thing like, that Enter the Realm demo with the Enter the Realm cassette with the signed thing. I have to have it. Bought it straight away.
Right. Absolutely.
So there's certain things that I have to really make sure that I'm making the right decision with my spending. I got the Alive in Athens reissue solely because I kind of wanted to listen to that on a proper vinyl record rather than the picture disc. And the ironic thing is, I've still not listened to it yet.
I have tried to limit myself to stop multiple buying. Like I said, when it came out, it of course it's a beautiful set. Alive in Athens is my favorite live album of all time. But like I said, I've got 47 different versions of it on CD. I've got it on album already. Did I really need another one? And you know what? And I'm old school. Maybe it's my age. I still love to put stuff on my iPod. That's my favorite way to listen to stuff. I like to buy the CD, put it on my computer, and listen to it on here. That's the last thing I was listening to on there. It was Plagues of Babylon. So that's what so I've kind of stopped the multiple buying. And I just remembered, how in the heck did we not talk about Matt Barlow?
Yeah, dude,
with
his
his
acoustic thing. It's amazing.
Wow.
He still say, like, on my opinion stands, man. His voice works with anything. Like, he's so good.
You know what the coolest thing about that whole, and this is how, I mean, I love Iced Earth this much. The coolest thing about Matt playing that video and everything was, if you looked at Stu's page, Stu shared it and said, "This is awesome."
Yeah.
that's putting egos aside. That's saying, if you haven't seen this, check this out. I thought that was so cool. To me, that raised Stu up so
Of
high.
course, yeah.
I thought that was so cool that he shared that and said, Matt's awesome. And I love them all so much, from John to
See,
Gene to Tim. They all have such great things that John has sculpted.
answer me this though, Chuck. Right? Because this what when he did that when Matt did that acoustic version of "I Died for You," I just started thinking of all the other songs I want him to sing acoustically.
I love acoustic music.
Yeah.
So, I mean, luckily we've been blessed in the last couple years. He did that show with Iced Earth where they did "I Died for You." Well, no, watching over me, and then he did the Demon show where he did that with Hansi, and now this. So he's given people little nuggets, and he actually did a little live show a couple weeks ago that a buddy of mine was at, and they actually did a few Iced Earth songs there too. They even did "Ghost of Freedom" from Horror Show.
Oh, that's a deep cut.
And it's like, that's great. So of course,
deep cut.
anytime somebody does an acoustic version like that, you got the rumors that, like, is he back? Is he coming back? It's fun, but it was such a cool version. I hope John does something like that soon. Just
Look, right.
anything.
The whole thing of, like you said, like, oh, is he coming back? Is he coming back? Kind of thing. I don't know how I'd feel if he did come back, because it's strange because I love Stu. I love Stu. I love Dystopia is like my second favorite album by the band. And I think Stu is really, really good. And I don't know how, like, as much as like Matt Barlow is my favorite singer of all time. Like, he's the GOAT. He's my favorite. His voice works with anything. That's why I love everything he's on, because his voice is amazing. But I was so hurt. I was so, as a fan, I was so hurt when he left after Crucible. That I don't want him to come back just to leave again. And I don't know how I'd feel. I don't know how I would feel if he came back. I don't know if
That brings up a good question. Okay, so there's similar parallels to Iced Earth and Iron Maiden. You got the mascot, there's similarities. Different, multiple singers. So I was listening to Brave New World the other day.
Great.
And I was thinking about Matt, and I was like, I wonder if John if John would have wrote Dystopia when the album that came out with Matt sing on it, would it have made a difference? I mean, if that album would have killed and they were bigger than ever, would it have made a difference with Matt staying?
I don't think so. Because from what Matt has told us, he put a lot in. He put a lot of effort to become a police officer, and that's what his career choice was after leaving Iced Earth. That's where his life went. And when he got back into Iced Earth for Crucible of Man, because touring was such a major thing, and basically John said we have to be on the road all the time to make any kind of ends meet with the band. That's why Matt left, because Matt couldn't commit to that kind of touring schedules. So I don't think Matt would have. I still think things played out for a reason, and I think they would have played out the same way regardless of what happened when it comes to the albums or the album's success.
So even if Crucible would have just destroyed Something Wicked, Horror Show, and Dark Saga, you think Matt's still gone?
Yeah, I think things were.
It's interesting.
Things were just, because remember, like I said, after he left Iced Earth in 2003 to become a police officer, to give back to society after 9/11. That's why he left, and that's what he built his life around after that. So
let's.
Yeah, you know what I'm talking about.
Yeah, let's flip this question around. If Brave New World would have been worse than Virtual 11 and the X Factor, would that have been the end, or would they have kept going on past that?
I don't know enough, or a Maiden fan. I'm not a big enough Maiden fan to answer that question.
Okay.
I don't have enough knowledge about Iron Maiden to answer that question for you.
I, it just had me thinking when I was listening to Brave New World last week. I was like, man, what if Crucible would have just been perfect? Would Matt have stayed? I don't know.
I tell you what though, Brave New World is one of my favourite Maiden albums.
I know.
Amazing
So
record.
leave us in the comments if you what do you think about that? Do you think if it would have topped Dark Saga, would they have found a way to keep Matt? I don't know. That'd be interesting to think about. That's all I got, buddy. So anyway, if you have Facebook, there's lots of Iced Earth stuff. There's a concert coming up by Luke, by Jacob's Well. Hopefully more will pop up. Hopefully Withdrawal will put the wine down for a day or two and do a live show for us acoustically. I know they're busy doing their new studio album, which I can't wait for, which is going to be co-produced by Schaefer. So that's going to add a new element to Withdrawal.
That's what he's doing. You asked me what he's doing. He's producing their record for them.
He's probably doing more too. He's got like a secret lair and shit where he's doing stuff. So anyway,
I can imagine.
This
I can imagine like a comic book. You get like Batman, but it's like you get the Schaefer sign, like he's in need, like because he's in his little Schaefer cave. He's like,
and we still don't know a lot of details about that book. Is he using this quarantine time to focus on the book shit? You know, whatever he's doing, I'm sure it's going to be good.
That confuses me because I swear he told us that the book stuff won't be coming until he puts Iced Earth to rest.
See, I thought that too.
Yeah.
But he said it's something that nobody's ever done before. So does that mean there's going to be music to the book?
Maybe.
What if he wrote a new concept album about blank and there was a book to go with it and the soundtrack? That would be a new book.
Don't forget, there was that one post that I think went under some people's radar about the card game. Do you remember?
Yeah, I sure do.
Yeah, so that's a factor. Maybe he's creating something. Maybe he's telling a story through a card game, a Set Abominate card game. I'll be all over that shit if they release a fucking Iced Earth card game. Yes, please.
Anything's good.
See, we're wrapping up, and now we've actually sparked new conversation.
Yeah. So, moving forward, we're going to do Sons of Liberty next, and I know Jason and myself like to let an album digest, so that's why we're kind of putting off the New Demons 3 for a while. I like to, let it sink in for several months, several listens. So Demons is going to be a little bit further down the road. So if you're wondering why we haven't done that yet, we haven't forgot about it. We just like to let it sink in a little bit more. So I'm looking forward to Sons of Liberty. I'm going to start cramming on it starting tonight.
Yes, sir.
So this was a good distraction. It was nice to sit down with my good friend and talk about our favorite band. And anybody who's still watching at this point, it's got to be their favorite band too.
Or they just like us. It's all good.
That's great too. So thanks for tuning in. Make sure you check out our Facebook page. Lots of cool content. Lots of great shares. Hit like. Hit subscribe on our Facebook page or on our YouTube page. Jason, you got anything else?
Thanks for watching. To new subscribers, we've had about like 5-6 new subscribers recently. Thanks for subscribing. Check out the old content. We've got so many cool old content, old interviews. It's all cool, man. We've had some new people on the group as well. Welcome to the group, everybody. It's cool to see new people, man.
It's my favorite place to go on Facebook. Lots of cool stuff. So, Jason, take us home, brother.
This has been Podcast and Stone. I have been Jason, joined as always with the incomparable Chuck Hoskins. Thanks for watching as always, everybody. You know what to do. Hit that like button if you liked it. Hit that dislike button if you didn't like it. it's there for a reason, I suppose. Punch that subscribe button if you have not already. We're on our way to 600 subscribers. Can we get there? Can we get there by the end of the year, Chuck?
Oh yeah.
Is COVID-19 gonna ruin our journey to 600 subscribers?
I'm going to stay at home until we hit 600 subscribers.
Okay.
Yeah, we're going to get there.
All right. Cool. Okay. Thanks for watching, everybody. Stay metal, because metal lives, my friends.
Stay metal, stay safe.
See you later.